Hi, how are you? Good? Yeah, I'm fine, thank you. Do you want to tell me about your day today? What have you been doing? Oh, okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Anything else? Yeah, it's just to practice your past tense, just to see how good you are at using the past tense. So anything, no matter how boring it is, it's useful if you can tell me. Don't worry about trying to impress me or something like that. Okay. Yeah. No? More interesting than my day anyway. Okay. So, a couple of things that you said that I can help you with. You said, do my homework. Just that first answer that you gave originally. So, what do we want to say? What is the past simple tense for do? Yeah. So, you can just say, I did my homework. Or, if you want to make it more confusing for yourself, but something which is a very valid option, you could say, I've been doing my homework. Especially if you want to talk about something that you've been doing until now, until this lesson started. You could say, yeah, I've been doing my homework. Something else that you said that your homework is heavy. Okay, so it doesn't quite work, unfortunately. I wish it did, but it doesn't in this context. If you describe your homework as being heavy, then that basically just means that you have some really thick workbooks. Yeah, okay, like some kind of manual size books that you're trying to work through. So instead of describing your homework as heavy, you could actually say, I have a heavy workload. That's a perfectly acceptable phrase if that's how you feel. I have a heavy workload at the moment. A couple of other phrases that I could teach you that I've written down are just, I have a lot on my plate at the moment. Have you heard that expression before? Yeah, but you don't really use it that much. Okay, yeah, so we could say I have a lot on my plate at the moment, just meaning that I have a lot to cope with. I have a lot to do, in simplest terms. And another one that I thought you might find useful as well, maybe this one isn't so common, not as common as I have a lot on my plate, but you could also say I have homework, or just simply I have work coming out of my ears. If you have something coming out of your ears, it means that you have a lot of it. You have an excessive amount of something. Yeah. Okay, cool. So I've written all of that down, just to let you know that I'll be making notes throughout this lesson. And I personally use Google Docs. So I'll be writing all of that down there. I can send you the link after the lesson so you can see all of that there. And there are 4 main things that I kind of include in there. I'll be helping you with some little corrections. I'll also be including some phrases that you use and giving you some other options that may be more natural. For example, if you say something and it isn't really grammatically wrong, but maybe it's not something that I would personally say, so I can include some more natural options or some more common options in the notes as well. And then other than that, it'll be things like helping you with pronunciation. I have my own method of helping you with that, so hopefully if I include a key in the notes, then hopefully you can kind of decipher my way of helping you with your pronunciation when you have a look at the notes later. And then the final thing is just any new words, new phrases, any terms, anything that I think would help you, anything that might be new. I can't guarantee I'll know exactly which words are in your vocabulary and which words aren't, but you can always edit the document afterwards if you want to delete a term that I thought was new, but actually you're well aware of. So don't be afraid to do that. I won't be offended at all, of course. Yeah, and I can include a definition, which is probably what I prefer to do, just because I try and avoid having to translate if possible. But if it's a bit of a complex term, something that I don't really think I'll be able to put a definition to, unless I obviously use Google a little bit, then I might just do a translation just to make it simpler, so then I can get back to focusing on what you have to say. Okay. Sorry about all that information. I know that may be a bit overwhelming, but I just wanted to explain that just during our first lesson together. Okay. So you mentioned that you wanted to have an interview. You said you have an interview coming up? Okay. Okay, so you've got a few more weeks as yet. And so what's the position that you're going for? Oh, interesting. Okay. I can't promise you that I can help you specifically to guarantee that job in that position, but I can certainly help you with your English anyway. Yeah. Yeah. When you said that you want to pass the interview, instead of saying pass the interview in April, what we really want to say is that you're planning on having an interview. The difference between have or take or pass, especially if we're talking about a test, that's a mistake that I hear quite often with my students. So we take the test, and that's just doing it, for lack of better words. We're just doing the test and we take it. If we're passing it, then that's not actually the doing part, that is succeeding in the test. So just be careful with those verbs there. Okay. And yeah, specifically, is there anything apart from that and apart from kind of preparing you for this interview that you'd like to improve with your English? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, there's an issue with fluency. I can tell, obviously, you've got a pretty good ability with your English, but you're saying that you're struggling with fluency? Yeah. Don't worry. I struggle with fluency too. Haven't spoken to anyone out and about for quite a while now, during this lockdown especially, so I'm pretty sure that my fluency is degraded a little bit. Yeah. Yeah, no idea when it's going to be over as yet. We're just waiting for another update just to hear when we might be able to go out and see other people that we've kind of started to forget about. I'm joking, of course. Okay, so are you happy just to continue for the next time that we've got, just to talk casually, just so I can get to know you a little bit, talk about your hobbies, your interests, and so on? Perfect. Okay, it's just so I can get a better idea of your current ability, and then in future lessons we could have like specific work towards that interview, if that's what you're wanting. I could just find some very common interview questions in the future, and then if you have any specific questions you want to work on, any that you think you would struggle with, then yeah, I'd be happy to do that. Okay, cool. Okay, so yeah, so tell me about what you like to do in your free time. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's cool. So you say you go rock climbing quite regularly? Yeah. Okay, so do you just have a centre nearby? Okay. Oh yeah, it's not too far to travel to. Okay. Yeah, I'm jealous. I wish I had more places to go climbing and rock climbing and do all those kinds of activities near to where I live. Well, the only thing I have close to where I live really at the moment is a garden centre. So yeah, I could go rock climbing there, but I'd be climbing on top of the rocks that they're selling, and I don't think they'd be too happy about that. Yeah. Yeah, so daily life talking. You say you want to kind of focus on daily life talking, by the way. So instead of daily life talking, we could say everyday conversation. That's another way of saying that. Yeah. Okay, sorry, go on. Oh, so you actually get to practice your English occasionally. Mhm. Okay. Did you mention earlier that you actually had done some teaching online as well? Ah, okay. Made me feel under pressure now. I feel like the trial is really on to try and impress you. I can't make any mistakes. No, I'm joking. No, but obviously, when I hear about a student that I'm teaching who has done some teaching work in the past, it kind of can't help but feel a little bit under pressure, you know? No, yeah, I know. No, you've made me feel at ease. I hope I've made you feel at ease so far, so don't worry about that, yeah. Okay. So yeah, so you're having to work every day at the moment. You said every day I'm working. You could say I'm having to work every day at the moment, or you can simply say I work every day. Those options are slightly more natural than every day I'm working, just so you know. Yeah. Okay. And so, yeah, you mentioned the rock climbing. Anything else that you'd like to do? Ah, running. Okay. So, is that something you've done for a long time? Ah, okay. Yeah, so the thing you just said there, you said I have a difficult in running. So instead of I have a difficult, you could say I have difficulty in running. So do you know what kind of word difficulty is? Yes, so difficulty is a noun. What kind of word is difficult? Yeah, it is. It's an adjective. So that's why we can't say I have a difficult. You could say I have a difficult time running. You could say I find running difficult. It's quite natural to start a sentence by saying I find something hard or I find it difficult. Alternatively, you could also say I struggle with running. Yeah, struggle is a very good verb to use there. Mm-hmm. Okay, and so yeah, what kind of distance have you been doing recently? Yeah, 5k is a good distance to start with. I don't really go further than 5k when I go. Yeah, it's a solid distance. And then obviously once you manage that, then from that point onwards, you could just keep trying to better your time each time you go out. Yeah, it's not all about that, I know, but it's something to aim for. Mm-hmm. Okay, so what are you trying to achieve with your running? Is it just for fitness, just for your health? Or are you training for a half marathon, training for a 5k run more likely? Anything like that? Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so the word you could use there, I can't reach that level or I can't reach that standard. You could use one of those words to talk about basically how good you are at running. Yeah. I can't reach that ability, maybe, but level or standard are more natural in that context. Okay. And what time? What time do you usually go running? 5 o'clock. So you're talking about the morning or the afternoon? Morning. Okay. Wow. I don't think that I've ever been out running at 5 o'clock. Maybe in my sleep, but other than that, I don't think I have. So is that just because you just have such a hectic day that you just have no other time for it? Oh, you just feel more motivated at that time. Okay. Yeah, you said you just feel more motivated in that time instead of in. We'd say at. You feel motivated at a specific time. You can meet someone at 12 o'clock or something like that. So we'd use at for the time. If we're using a month, what preposition do we use with months? Do you know? Yeah, we use in. Okay, and then days? On. Yeah, lovely. Just checking. I thought you would know that. Just a quick quiz, just to test you, just to make sure that there aren't any kind of gaps in your knowledge there. Okay. Interesting. Mm-hmm. Oh, and you like painting. Okay. Is that something that you've done from a very young age? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I used to do art at school. Can't say I was too great, but I wish I'd kept it up. Oh, sorry, the phrase that I just used. I said, did I say I wish I'd kept it up? Kept it up, sorry. That was me not saying it too clearly there. Yeah, so thank you for asking. I'm glad that you asked me. So to keep something up, if you keep something up, it means that you continue to do it. So especially when we're talking about interests or hobbies and things that we maybe used to do when we were younger, play the recorder, play the guitar, running, anything like that. Speaking a foreign language, of course. If you don't keep it up, then you lose it or you forget it. And so that's why I said that I wish that I'd kept it up. I wish I'd kept up my art skills. Not that I really had any in the first place. Okay. Yeah, you just said I can draw you. Do you mean actually drawing a picture of me, or do you mean drawing a picture for me? You mean a picture for me. That's what I thought you meant. I was thinking, it's the first lesson and you're already saying that you want to draw me. That's fine. I'm comfortable with that. But I had a feeling that you weren't wanting to draw my face. So you can say I can draw you a picture. You can put you after draw, which is basically a more natural option of I can draw a picture for you. Or, yeah, I can draw it for you. Anything like that. If you're wanting to draw a picture, if you're wanting to explain a picture, because it's difficult to describe, so you can draw something for someone to look at. But maybe not, I can draw you. Yeah. Okay. All right. And I remember that you mentioned that you like traveling. So where have you travelled to in the past? Yeah. Interesting. Nice. Yeah, I've been there. That is a lovely place. Mm-hmm. Oh, and you said that you've been to London. Yeah, it's not really pronounced the way that it looks. So it looks like London. It's actually going to be pronounced London. So the second O, imagine that it's not there. Imagine that it's being kind of taken out, and we can pronounce it like London. Yeah, that sounds perfect. And another country that I will just bring up, the pronunciation wasn't quite right. I think you said Brazil. Did you say Brazil? Brazil, something like that? Okay, so actually we're wanting to stress the second syllable, and so it will sound like Brazil. Can you say that? Yeah, just like that. Brazil. I think you said maybe Brazil. It's fine. I've heard that before. I've heard other students say it like that. It sounds fairly similar to the name that we have, Basil. Do you know the name Basil? Faulty Towers? Yeah, okay. My granddad's actually called Basil. But yeah, no. He hasn't ever been to Brazil. Okay. Okay, and your favourite place that you've travelled to out of all of those places you mentioned, where would that be? Oh, it's actually London. I'm quite surprised because you've mentioned quite a few really interesting places. Okay, so what did you like the most about London? Or why is it your favourite place? Yeah, okay. hmm Yeah, you're right. Yeah, there's nothing really to get too excited about when it comes to the food in the UK or the food in England, at least. I don't want to talk ill of other countries in the UK, but especially England. You know, we've got our fish and chips and we've got our full English breakfast. But you say that you just like London and you like the sightseeing part of it. Yeah. Oh, and of course, yeah, the double decker buses. Yeah. Okay. Is there somewhere that you hope to travel to in the future? In the near future, we can say, yeah. Oh, I'm so sorry. So you actually had your plans cancelled because your flights were cancelled because of the pandemic. Yeah, no, I'm really sorry to hear that. hmm Okay, so do you think you'll rebook the flights when you can? Or do you think that's kind of just a missed opportunity and do you think you won't get the chance to go there now? hmm Oh, okay. So you said that you wanted to bring your parents with you. Yeah, instead of bring, you could use take. I wanted to take my parents with me. I wanted to take my parents on holiday with me. Take's pretty good, yeah. If you bring, generally, if we're bringing something, it would be from somewhere else to where you are at the moment. So you can bring your parents back to your house. If you take your mother to get her vaccine and then you bring her back home to make sure that she's okay, to give her a drink, make her a cup of tea, and make her tea. Yeah. Yeah, so tea there I used after cup of tea. Sorry, it must have been a bit confusing. So tea we also use to mean dinner. So that means you can make her a cup of tea and then you can make her tea, make her some dinner. Yeah, I shouldn't have said that. That was a bit confusing. Sorry. Yeah, that is a bit of a regional thing. Yeah. Yeah, no, I hope you have the opportunity to do that, because would have been lovely for them to have their first holiday after 5 years. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I get you. Okay, so unfortunately we have run out of time. The time has flown by, so I hope you feel like you've benefited from this session. So, as I said before, the notes that I've written for you, I'll send those to you after the lesson. Which is easier? Would it be easier if I send you a link, or would it be easier if I send it to you as a PDF? PDF? Yeah, that's absolutely fine. I realise that obviously some of my students can't access Google Docs unless they use a VPN, so yeah, I'm totally fine with sending you a PDF. Okay, so I'll send that to you. And if you have a look at the notes and you have any questions, if there's anything which is a bit confusing or something that you just want to discuss a bit more in the future, feel free to send me a message and I'll reply as soon as I can if it's just like a quick question. If it's something that you think will take a bit longer to answer, then we can discuss it in detail next time. Okay, cool, lovely. So I hope you have a lovely rest of your day, and lovely to chat to you. Okay, see you next time. All right, thanks very much. Thank you. No, you're welcome. It was a pleasure. All right, bye for now. Bye.